Welcome, everyone, to the Flower Files podcast sponsored by Wildly Native Flower Farm. Here, everyone is welcome to talk with fellow flower lovers, including real perspectives from the farm, the flowers, and me, the florist.
From the messy day-to-day operations down to the details and even business perspectives, this podcast has a little bit of everything to keep it real. We know that life can get crazy and we don't always have the time to spend on what we love, so we are here to help you take a little time to indulge in nature. I'm Liza Getz.
I'm Lizzie Frey, and we are the team that makes this podcast. Every once in a while, we have a couple guests, this business thing, and what we are working with is called life.
Join us as we walk you through how to think outside the box, talk from the farmer's perspective, have honest conversations about florals, and how to run, well, life. So listen in.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, in the podcast section, and any of your other podcast platforms. You can also find us online at wildlynativeflowerfarm.com, and in an easy way, you can look in the show notes, and all of the information will be right there for easy access for you guys. Well, hi guys, welcome back to the Flower Files. The crazy ladies are back. You've got Liza. Liza, Lizzie.
Hi.
Hello. Sorry, my brain is not turning on all cylinders. It's cold. It's snowing. I'm over it.
She's a diesel engine today.
Yeah. I needed a few minutes to turn over. We'll get through it. So today's podcast is about breaking into the wedding industry with flowers.
Our story of how we got into weddings, we kind of tripped and fell into it. And for those of you
by chance.
Those of you who don't know kind of our background story, I was a teacher for 14 years in our local high school, and I was growing flowers on the side. And I was I'm going to wholesale. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to, it's going to be this little side thing that happens. And we got busier and we were doing more things with flowers until one day one of my former students said, "I got engaged. I want you to do my flowers." And I said no.
And then I said yes.
And I said no. and
kind of like the rest is history. I know that's kind of like a typical thing to say, but
it was your confidence of, "Oh no, we can do that." It was my "Oh my God, are you kidding me?"
I felt confident in it because of FFA.
Yeah, that's true.
Because of what we were learning, and we were close with another florist in the county, and we both had started to help her a little bit because we were kind of going to the wholesale world and just seeing how the industry works and all of that.
And you were very wow,
yeah,
that looks fun. And
yeah.
I was like, "Oh my God,
I'm gonna die."
So it was. One led to another, which led to another, which led to more, which led to
COVID.
Yeah, which led to COVID, which led to a shutdown of the wedding industry.
Mm-hmm.
But then we ended up with more personals. And it was interesting because I feel like
still to this day, that first year of COVID, I think is the highest amount of orders we've ever had on Mother's Day, Easter. And I could be wrong just because we were so naive to everything, but it was a lot.
It was.
We had 15
But we were a farm.
Yeah.
We still had our flowers.
Yeah.
Other florists couldn't do things, and then they were shut down because
the world was shut down.
Because everything was shut down. Nobody was doing anything. Yeah. And we had the flowers, and then we had Kenley. How many tulips do we have?
5,000.
We had so many tulips that I was like, they are dying in the field. This is stupid. So I did a thing with a whole bunch of, I was trying to help other local businesses as well. So I went to one of our favorite local restaurants that was still open. They had figured out how to do a backdoor pickup kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I sold tulips and took the money from that and turned it around and bought gift cards for nurses and just kept taking them to the hospital to all of the nurses. I mean, God, we were delivering in places of the world that I'd never been to.
Yeah.
It was really crazy.
We went and hit some like pediatric offices and that kind of thing. That really got out quick through the community, which was nice because people appreciated it, didn't expect it. Like, and I mean, they were the ones that were still making the world go round in a way.
They
Like,
had to
Yeah.
be. They were the only people that like.
yeah.
It was my sister-in-law's a nurse. It was awful. It was awful during COVID because people would come in. I mean, like, I'm not trying to get sad and depressed or anything, but people would, like, old people would come in and like die every day. It was
Yeah.
it was bad. And then you'd have like a 3-month-old that got COVID. It was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
lot. And I was like, we have flowers. Flowers make people happy.
Mhm.
And we did it contactless. Oh my God. We would do everything with gloves. We wore masks because I didn't know, like none of us knew how it spread.
You used to spray the packages when they used to come in with
Yeah.
Lysol because you just
And then
didn't know.
everything that we handled with gloves. And then when we delivered, we wiped everything down.
Mhm.
I mean, it was timing.
Yeah.
It was all about timing. So I feel like people got used to, hey, they do flowers
Yeah.
kind of in a strange way. And
Mhm.
then we had done a couple weddings. And then when the bands started to lighten and, the social bands
Yeah.
started to lighten, more and more people were getting married. So they were like, hey, you've done flowers and what used to be onesie, Tuesday, like here and there, it just became a thing. And
Yeah.
then Lizzie and I kind of looked at each other the one day and I was like, this is a thing. What do you, she was graduating high school and I was like, what are you doing with your life? And she was like, flowers. I was like, okay. And I looked at Kenley and I was like, and what are you doing with your life? And she was like, flowers. I was like, all right, this is what we're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that it just,
Yeah. We just kind of ran with how it fell
Yeah.
into our laps, and
Because
yeah,
most everybody else was shut down, and that's when she brought me along was COVID. She was like, I need
yeah.
help. Like it.
Well, and you were there
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
You were there before.
It was a good couple months beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then when I went back to
Yeah.
school, you were still able to help. And like
Yeah.
we started getting phone calls and that's when we really had to make some decisions of like, is this a side gig or is this like the real deal?
Yeah.
And we all decided this was the real deal. And that's when we started to kind of pivot and try to figure out, okay, if we're doing weddings, if we're doing this professionally, what does it mean? And how are we going to build our business? What does that look
Yeah.
like?
What are we gonna say yes to flower wise? What are we gonna say yes to people wise? Like to vendors
Yes.
and other places like that? Because I'm more than now that I think about it, Cat Island Resort has been with us or we've been with them technically for a very long time.
Well, when they first built,
Mhm.
we were the first florist that
We did their
it just
Easter
we did an Easter
thing.
brunch.
I
We
still
did
have
a
pictures from those
whole
tulips.
bunch
God, they were so pretty. God, they were beautiful. I would think that was their first like thing after COVID.
socially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So it was just kind of I don't want to say it was luck and timing because we definitely had done the work to get there, but
Mhm.
we worked really, really hard. I mean, we went to North Carolina. We went
Yeah.
multiple times to the Poconos. We went, man, we used to travel so
North
much,
Carolina.
so much.
That was something. I remember it was. I think it was the three of us and Amber, and we were all outside. We sold the golf cart before the gator, and all
Oh
of
my
the pink
God.
celosia we cut. We cut like 6 buckets
Yeah.
of pink celosia. It
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
That's what
yeah,
she wanted.
it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that was when we didn't have any additional help. It was just
Yeah. It was
us
the four of us.
and we were trying to get things done and we had to leave and we were worried about traffic and Will walked in that one day and I was like, Will, hold this. And you were like, no, Will, come over here. Put this bouquet together like this. And he stood there and arranged with you.
He did. He
He
did.
really
He
did.
put two or three together with me. He did it
Hmm.
like step by step, and he he put it together.
Yeah.
He did do it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then he was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. So out of everyone, not for the reason being just because we're in the business of it, but he like very surprisingly was able to like put
Yeah.
something together.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
really
very, very,
funny.
very
He was
cool.
like, "Okay, sure," because I just totally asked him thinking that he wasn't gonna say yes, but
Mhm.
no, he said yes, and he went through and he did it. It was funny.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was definitely funny.
Mhm.
But then I feel like we started to get, I don't want to say bombarded, because it was a little overwhelming, and we've had to try to figure out strategically how to how to figure out which wedding show or expo or what works and what doesn't work for us. And because they're not cheap,
No.
and what are the connections that you're making, and how does it work? Yes. And does it make sense to have a relationship with a specific vendor and spend more time nurturing that instead of standing there with a room full of vendors?
Yeah,
And
that you may be out of their budget, that they're not the kind of people that you want to work with.
yeah,
Like,
they're not your
there's
target audience.
yeah, not your target market.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like initially for us with some of those expos, it was more about the cross connections that we made with other vendors than the actual brides themselves. I got to tell you, I can't count at this point how many expos and all of that kind of stuff we've done, but the brides are so overwhelmed
Yeah.
because they feel like they have to turn on different parts of their brain. Like it's flowers, it's cake, it's
And the
food.
DJ
And then you go
in the
down
corner.
and he's loud
Music.
and you have to yell and there then you go down the next aisle and it's venues and bathrooms and more florists and more catering and try this and what about that and have you thought of that? And there's definitely a while where you can see on people's faces
They're like zoned out.
they're done.
Yeah.
They're
It's like walking
done.
in the mall sometimes and then having those people like try and touch your hair or like sell something to you. Hey man, or hey blah blah blah. Yeah. Or I forget when I went with Josh, but we had walked past this one lady. It was like the middle aisle shop stuff. And she was talking about hair care of some sort, and she didn't remember me. So we had walked past her twice, and each time she would say the same thing. And I wanted to look at her and be like, "You've already said this to me 3 times.
Yeah.
Leave me alone."
Or the one lady who walked up to me, we were in an airport. She walked up to me. She goes, "Oh, honey, you really need this wrinkle cream." I was like, "Excuse me? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. You're gonna." She did. I was like, "Wow,
Yeah,
that was gutsy."
yeah,
And I turned around and watched her do it to like a couple other people who were like younger and older than me. So I didn't feel quite as bad, but I was like,
oh my god.
well, damn.
I would have looked at her and been like, looks like you need it. Like, what?
Yes.
It just caught me so off guard.
Oh my gosh.
So off guard.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely. But it makes you overwhelmed
Yes.
and like distracted and honestly uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh. And the one we went to, the one vendor that floored me the most was the orthodontist people who were there. Yeah. The great big
Oh,
one that we did up in
like
Delaware. It was a
teeth whitening
huge, yeah.
for events and pictures and stuff like that. It's a
Seriously?
big thing.
They were at
Uh-huh.
expos.
Yeah. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Did not anticipate that at all.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
random.
Yeah.
That's almost an insult.
It helps people
Yeah, but that
feel better about smiling.
But maybe if I walked through that and saw that sitting there, I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, is that something I need to do?"
Yes,
Why?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. No, just
Yeah.
get crest strips. Like,
Yeah. Do what you have to do.
Yeah. No, it's I feel like expos are a good way when you're first getting started to kind of see what works, to kind of, when you're starting and you're trying to figure all of those things out. And I feel like what comes with that too is knowing how to talk to people, knowing how to read the different people. Some people are like frisky excited and it's like, hey, here's the bouquet. One of the things we learned is it was always great to have something that was interactive. Have 3 different bouquets. Which one is yours? Do you want to be posted on Instagram? Like, and then there's
Which
other
one's your
people
favorite?
who were like, they wanted none of that.
Yeah.
So there were definitely people who were walking around with like stuff in their hair and the big shirt that's like, I'm the bride.
Yeah.
And, they had their posse with them.
Yeah.
And then there were other people who were just kind of I even saw some brides come through by themselves.
Yeah. Either by themselves or with their mom. That was always a big one.
Yeah.
Or with their fiance.
Mhm.
And they
And the
just
guys look so like, what the hell are we
yeah, they're like,
doing?
oh no. And sometimes there's a lot of elopement people
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
true.
want something like super simple and not too intense, and they're the very like quiet, chill, don't
Hmm.
really want a whole lot, like that kind of thing. But yeah, it's an interesting walk of life at expos.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes. Because we started with just a couple that were small and local.
Hmm.
And then I feel like once you get into that circuit, you end up in another circuit where there's more and more and more. And I feel like now the trend is a lot of the individual um, reception places, they all have their own expos.
Yeah.
So they have their preferred vendors. And then one of the things that we have found that's worked well for us, and it's a double-edged sword with this one, is a lot of the venues now have tastings. So if they are, all of things, if they have
Like all
catering
inclusive,
and
yeah.
yeah, if they're all
Mhm.
inclusive, thank you. That was much better. um, but they have tastings, and it's interesting when you go back to pick up, many times you'll bump into some of the people who are working there, maybe some of the coordinators. And this last one that we did recently, actually, one of the coordinators came over to us after and was like, so many people already knew you.
Oh.
So the timing is critical in some of those things, because if they're already booked, you're not doing anything for that. But it's also a good reinforcement, so with those brides that have booked you,
Mhm.
of like, oh, I did book them. Like,
Yeah.
this is cool. This is what they're doing and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, or you can have like
So,
a personal conversation with them. It's not just over the phone because they are a nurse or they live in Annapolis, or it's something that's like far away and difficult to really talk to because
mhm.
sometimes you're on the phone at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night with some of these brides, and that's what works for them because
Yeah.
it's just what they have to do.
And sometimes it's schedules. Sometimes they want their fiance to be on the phone with them. I mean, there's
Mhm.
lots of different
Mhm.
reasons why that works.
Yeah, yeah, or their parents that live like in a different time zone.
So I feel like timing is part of it. I feel like also, who do you know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a lot of, well, once you do one, and then there's kind of word of mouth, and there's little things. There's also, it's one thing to work with specific vendors, but then other vendors you'll have relationships with. I think one of the biggest ones to make sure that you have a good relationship with are the caterers,
Mm-hmm.
because they can make or break the entire setup as a florist,
Absolutely.
because 9 times out of 10, they're the ones with the linens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're the ones that have that like first foot through the door and are already out there. And most of the time, we try to get there before. And sometimes the planners have the lens or things like that, and they either work around you or they almost shove you out of the way because
Mhm.
they're placing stuff on tables and everything's timed, and it's
And if they've run late because they've hit traffic,
yeah,
they're in a crunch.
yeah, it's a
So
very
I always
fast
try to, like,
paced.
it's literally a
Uh-huh. Oh,
dance.
100%.
Literally a
Yeah. I'll go to
dance.
set up one table,
That's
but then they're setting silverware on it, so I have to run to the other table because they're walking to that one next. And I'm like,
yeah.
ah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm
And I
coming,
want to
I
get my stuff
promise.
down before they're putting
yeah,
glassware out.
Or plate,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
because then you gotta go from all the like the dust of God only knows what. But
Yeah.
mhm.
no, and breakdown with caterers too can be difficult because if you don't have a good relationship with them, they'll like not intentionally, but they like won't care and break your stuff. There's
Yeah.
been a couple times where we go and there's like 6 broken glasses from scattered vases, and we're like what happens?
Scattered face.
They'll just pull the tablecloths
Votives.
off and like, oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that more with frosted votives on white tablecloths.
Mhm.
I think by the end of the night, it's dark in a lot of those
Yeah.
venue spaces when they're
Mhm.
starting to clean up, if they haven't flipped the lights.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think out of all of the votives that get broken, it's the frosted when they're on a white tablecloth. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen a lot of the Mercury ones broken.
Mm-mm.
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
because there's such a contrast against whatever table they're on.
Yeah, and then you find weird stuff in the melted wax, and
Oh, it's so
that's just
gross.
yeah,
So gross. There's
nasty.
many times where I'm just like, that whole thing can get thrown out because I'm not reactivating whatever is now frozen in the candle
Yeah,
wax.
yeah, we're good.
Ew.
It's solid. It's like
Yeah.
stuck in here. We're not opening back up, and we're done.
Yeah. Ew.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
no,
Nope.
no.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
But I feel like when you try to get into the wedding industry, you want to surround yourself with people and connections, specifically the vendors that can support you and recommend you, because the one venue that we've been at for a decent amount, like a good handful of times, if it wasn't for the planners that were there for the past 2 years or so, we wouldn't be where we are without them. Like, they have no idea how much of an impact financially, work wise, delivering stuff, where they're at now, and where they're still recommending us, even though they're not at the venue that they were before.
Yeah.
Um,
Many of them have moved to other venues in
yeah,
other locations, and they've kind of brought us with them, which
yeah,
is, to
yeah,
me, one of the largest compliments that we
yeah,
could get.
yeah. Like they carry us. Hey guys, Lizzie here. I bet you didn't know this about me, but I am gluten free, and one of the things that I struggle with is going to the grocery store and finding the foods that fit my dietary needs. What I have been doing for the past couple of months is ordering from Hungry Root. Now, Hungry Root is an online company where you can order groceries off of their website. It's full of produce, crackers, cookies, to muffins, to meats, and all the different types of snacks and things like that. They have made my life so much easier in the process of finding foods that fit my dietary needs. There are filters that you can adjust, such as non GMO, dairy free, gluten free, paleo, different preferences, and things like that. So, what they have done for us, because they're such a generous company, the Hungry Root team has given us a 40% off discount code on your first box. So, if you use the code FLOWER40, and that's capital FLOWER 40 at checkout, you will get 40% off your first box. I'm so excited to team up with these guys. They've made such an impact on my life in the morning and to my day to day life. And I hope you experience the exact same thing that I do. All of the information will be linked down below, including the link to where it should already be pre applied to your cart when you hit the link and go to their website. And I will also add the code at the bottom for easy access in our show notes. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy your first box through Hungry Root. With them, and that I feel like that gives them kind of a sense of like protection and security, because you know who they are and where they're working with. It's not like someone sent up from Florida that is tired and doesn't care and
Yeah.
is whatever, because we ran into that before, and it's just a whole weird thing. So, like, find your group.
Find your tribe.
Yeah. Find your group of people that you know that can support you and that you can communicate honestly with too.
Or that you can also then call when you do have a bride who wants to do something that's so totally different in that space and you've never done it before. Have that relationship with other vendors to be able to be like, okay, I want to do this. And even working with other florists, there's been many times where we have been asked to do something and
Like a style,
like no, like a specific mechanics
like
in,
a setup.
yeah,
Okay.
like a setup in a specific venue or something like that. Like, what is the best way to do this? Do
How do
you,
you do that? I think that's on social media. That's probably the one thing that we like zoom into when there's like a video or like a picture or whatever, because we look at how other florists build things. We're like, how did they do that? And we like zoom in and try to like make it easier, because one way that we think it might work, it might not work at all. So, there's a lot of pieces to it. And even
it's so interwoven.
yeah, and even with some of the customers that we've had to work with that we not team up with, but if the planner is the planner that we love to work with, or one of them, and then we come in as the florist, they can give us a heads up of what kind of personalities these people are. Of their dads, is he a lawyer? Their dad, is he a painter? Like, it shifts who they are as a person.
Kenley, I think you were with me. I think you were with me with it. I don't know, it blends after a while, but the planner had come to us after we had dropped off the personals and just quietly said, "How is she?"
Yeah.
Mhm.
We were like, she's okay. She seems a little nervous. And she was like, well, she was in tears crying last night because she was so nervous at the rehearsal.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to check on her and see if I needed to do anything extra
Yeah.
to help her through the so it's some of those things. I
I've had
mean,
that happen to me a couple times. Not necessarily like
yeah.
with crying the night before, but I'll have the planner come up and be like, "How was it? Like, I know she was worried. Like, how'd it
Yeah.
go? Like, how was the
Yeah.
mom?
Yeah.
The mom's another thing."
May oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Holy cow. I
Yeah.
think we should do a whole episode just on how to interact with people that aren't the bride.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like,
Specifically that we have stories.
Yeah.
The bridesmaids, the the bride's mom, and the mother-in-law.
well, and
And
the
I was gonna say
grooms.
the grooms. Sometimes the grooms, you
Oh my
walk
God.
in to deliver the boutonnieres. It's like, oh, none of you have shirts on. Okay.
Yeah, you're all
None
in
of you
your
have shirts
underwear.
or
Yeah.
pants on.
Yeah, you're all in your underwear. They think it's like room service or
Yeah.
something. We've definitely had that a
Yeah.
couple
Or
times.
they're
We're
all
just
drunk
go,
at 7 a.m. Not 7 a.m.,
Yeah.
but like 9.
I
I was
don't
gonna
know.
say 7
Yeah.
a.m. I've definitely walked in and I'm like, oh, you're still drunk from the night
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, yeah, or coming to. Like, it
Mhm.
just
And I
wild.
think one of the things that I feel like when you first start out is you're like, I'm gonna be wedding florist and it's gonna be great. And we're how many years into it now? And there's a lot more nitty gritty. There's so much more reality behind it.
Yeah, and I think timing wise too, this is our first year without COVID
Yeah.
brides. Like all the Sunday deals of all the people that got the deals. If you book now,
Yeah.
here's the money, and if you like, this is at a discounted price and all that. Because there was one year where it was the year after COVID, so
Yeah.
21. We had so many Sunday
Yeah.
weddings. It was insane.
It was
Like
stacked.
We were even getting like
constantly.
Thursday weddings. It was.
Yeah.
We have a couple of
Do
those
we?
this year, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all rate dependent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if somebody's trying to extend their budget and they want it to be great and all
Yeah.
of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, we've got some Thursdays. We even have a Monday, and it's not a holiday.
A Monday.
So a Monday. Yeah. I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different
Huh.
spin.
Yeah.
It's probably a
Like
special
it's
day to
just
those people. Yeah.
Exactly.
probably.
Exactly.
Yeah. But with like timing, like even with this year, like we have more weddings on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and less on Saturday, which is honestly nice because then we don't have to worry about bridge traffic or
Yeah.
wherever we're going. And functionality wise, it helps us a little bit. And then just seeing how people change and how the occupations have shifted
hmm
and how the people have changed and how the venues have changed, like just
And the
going back
use
in
of
time.
the flowers have changed. I see a lot more people who want us to build arrangements that can be part of the ceremony down the aisle
Mhm.
that then get picked up and put on the table.
Yeah.
That in itself is a whole logistic
Yeah.
in timing. And I don't mean, yes, it's logistic and timing for us because okay, it has to get done through cocktail hour, but it has to be done so that the stuff comes out and is placed
Mhm.
after certain pictures are taken.
Yeah.
You have to wait for guests to move, but the bride is watching that and she's like, why is that stuff not being moved? So like
Yeah.
that,
And you can start to see like the panic set
Uh-huh.
in. We're like,
Yeah.
we're good.
yeah, everything is
Everything's
But
fine.
fine.
also,
And then you get like the very drunk groomsmen who are like, oh gosh, I can carry 3. And it's like, no, you're a guest. We got this. And it's
Yeah.
sometimes,
We have been paid
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do
yeah,
it.
And
So
then some of the other guests stare at you like you're stupid and won't move out of the way. It's like you can obviously see that I'm trying to move stuff. Like I will go
yeah.
around.
Or like, why are you touching it kind
Yeah.
of thing.
it's like I'm wearing the shirt that's blazing purple that says wildly
Yes.
native.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
I've even been setting up weddings and the guests will show up like 45 minutes early and clog up the lobby and I'm like I need to get through. I was like there is no
Yeah.
other entrance. Like just
Yeah.
move over like 2 inches,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. You have to make your way
Yeah.
through. Have
But also, you're talking about like logistics for moving and stuff. It also changes how the stuff is built because you have to make sure
Mhm. Yeah.
it looks good in the aisle and it has to look good on the table. Like it,
Yeah.
and
Front and
yeah,
back.
people have this
Top and
vision
tail.
of, I'm going to use it on the aisle and put it on the table, but then they don't realize how narrow their rectangle table is.
Or
And
the height. Because if you want it to go up over the chairs, like or like 2 chair height or at least in between, your faces are going to be covered. So we have to plan, well, if we're building it this way, what are we going to have to take out and move and rearrange some of the flowers just because of how it's placed.
Yeah.
And like we had it was the one wedding last May. She wanted the whole top of her arch put on her front of her table, and it was one hanging off because it was a sweetheart table.
It was huge.
Yeah, and heavy and wet and cold, and it's just a mess. And then I think we had to move it on the floor because it was heavy, and
Yeah.
she had extra arrangements. So it's like that quick 15-20 minute window of like they're still taking pictures with the family, and then you have to swoop in and pick it up and move it, and then the planner comes up to you and says, well, what about this? Like, well, did you ask for this or did she ask for
Yeah,
this?
that's another thing. I've had so many
That's the
planners.
biggest thing.
Because then they can blame it on
Yeah.
us.
It's like, well, it wasn't
Yeah.
on our contract to be repurposed. Sorry. Like, if I have extra time, I will repurpose as much stuff as possible, like just extra. But if it's not on the contract, like, I'm sorry. Like, we have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna get out of
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be
Yeah.
in the way. And then, you know, if we're waiting and if no pictures have been taken for 45 minutes, I'm gonna start to disassemble that arch. Don't be mad
Yeah.
that in the last 15 minutes you're deciding to do that last one we have
Yeah.
to flip. So
Yeah. Or call us the Monday after your Saturday wedding and then ask where other pieces are that we're hanging up at the venue. And then question where they're at. And we're like, it's Monday, and
it had to be cleaned up.
It had
And
to be cleaned
that's
up. You didn't ask for it to be saved, and you didn't clean it up.
Yeah.
Your responsibility for something, unless it is specifically asked for, we don't touch it.
No.
We don't
No,
touch it.
because I don't want to mess anything up.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Then it'll be
Not till the end of the night.
why did you touch it? Blah blah blah. We want it.
Yeah.
Nope.
So
No,
I think too I think if somebody said, "Hey, what's the best way to break into the industry?" and I had to give the top 3, I would say word of mouth. I think that would definitely be the top one, and you know, word of mouth with your friends because you're going to interact with them
And
differently.
then your friends will be able to go and tell their friends.
Exactly.
And then it'll just spread like wildfire.
I think the second way is just introducing yourself to other venues. I know it's uncomfortable, but that's one of the best ways to, you know, hey, this is who we are. This is what's going on. This is
You
our
have to put
style.
yourself out there. If you're an introvert, I'm sorry, but you'll have to be an extrovert when on those days. Like,
but you don't have to be
no,
annoying.
no. But at least like put yourself out there. Don't walk in with an RBF. Like,
my favorite wedding setups are when it's the ceremony and no one else is out there yet, and I'm doing whatever kind of arch thing that they need, and I'm just la la la. No one's talking to me. I'm just out here listening to music, plugged in, like living my best like flower life.
and I'll be in the reception. I'll be like, "Where's Lizzie? It's been like 2 hours," and I'll look down near the water, and she's like, "La la 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 la."
Yeah. Yeah, that's
and when you're finished, it's very like,
Yeah.
like it's like, okay, she was in the
You
groove,
hear the
got
angels
it.
Yeah, I was
singing.
in my zone. Yeah. Or it's like God, what's that one Pixar movie? I can God, I can picture it. You're in the zone. Oh God.
I can hear Steve McQueen or Lightning McQueen where he's like, where he's driving. Yeah, he drifts off.
Oh, I can't.
That's Lizzie putting together an arch. I am speed. Look at the flower.
Yeah. Yeah. But they Pixar did a really good job. I can't remember the name of it, but they did a really good job of explaining what it feels like to be in the zone. And they of course have all these characters and everything, and like when you're focused and you feel that like not brainless feeling, but it almost feels fluid and it's just happening. That's you like in the zone and you're not paying attention to anything else and you're just in your space.
I think the best example of that was the day that the fireworks guy got stuck behind the arch and you had no clue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you were just in the zone and everybody else is like, oh my God, they're stuck in the mud. What are they going to do?
Right behind the arch. Immediately right behind the arch. So even if he was stuck and couldn't get out, he would have been in the back of
with his big truck. It was
the trailer.
Yeah, it was
was
a lot.
stuck.
That was funny. But to wrap up, the third thing is, so I said, word of mouth, work with other people, you know, kind of think outside the box. And the third one is, you know, I think they're kind of wrapped together with that. go meet other people, go step outside your box, and give some stuff away.
That's been a huge thing. We'll have stuff come back from weddings, and it's like, oh, it still looks great, so we'll go and like donate it to nursing homes, and they love it.
Especially
connections.
the Poland Spring
So,
for sure.
but so if you like our podcast and you want to keep hearing more of these things, what helps us learn to help you? Did I say that right? I think I said that right.
That makes sense. To learn more about your perspectives and wants and needs.
First of all, we love the comments that we've been getting. That has been so much fun to read and hear. But you can like and share and download and do all of the magical things that you're supposed to do with the podcast.
Yeah.
So,
No, it helps us. It helps get our name out there. It helps spread the podcast for more listeners.
Yes. Spread the word. Spread the
Tell
word.
your friends.
So like our podcast.
Social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok,
Yeah.
Wildly Native Flower Farm.
Go to the
Flower
website,
files,
all of the things.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please,
Awesome.
from the bottom of our hearts.
Awesome. So thank you. We hope that you found this little bit of tips and hints.
Tidbit of info.
A little bit of drama, but
there's always drama. Always. The best thing is we get to leave and come home.
It's flowers.
Yeah.
Flowers are dramatic, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So that's okay.
So thanks, guys.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey guys, just dropping a line to tell you about Patreon.
So I asked them, meaning Mom and Amber, what is Patreon anyway? Because I honestly had no idea. So we're going to explain it to you from our perspective so that you understand and so that I understand.
Because the first time I saw it, I was like, Patron? We're drinking tequila? Great. So Patreon is for less than a cup of coffee, those fancy coffees that y'all like, a day, you can sign up to become one of our members.
A little family.
Exactly. And what does that get us?
It gets us some freebies, some special episodes that other people do not get access to. You can interact with us on a special platform where we can ask you questions and interact with you. It's tons of fun.
Mm-hmm. And even on those special episodes, we might be less censored than we are already. And we're going to have a couple fun ones that we can just kind of throw in there and talk about and laugh and go on tangents and have fun. So I hope that you all enjoy it because we're going to have fun along the way. We're crazy excited.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Back to the episode now. Bye.
Gracias.